Hi everybody, welcome back to Carrie's model bench. Right, let's just turn this down a little bit more. There, so it's just background music. Here we go, right. Hi. Hope you're doing alright out there in Twitch land. It's been a while since I've been sat in this seat in front of this camera. Just having my coffee. Coffee. Well, welcome back, and welcome back to another. Hello, Duana, Horsemaker Bear. Well, today it's not the horse again; it's the rider again. This part in particular, we're going to be working on all of Arthur Morgan's torso and jacket and shirt and all that kind of good stuff. So it's good to be back here. The last couple of weeks have been a bit wonky for me, so I haven't been feeling like sitting down and doing some model bench. I wasn't going to do it when I first woke up this morning, but I took a nap and I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So here we are. The headless rider, yeah. Indeed. He doesn't have a head yet. It is up there. It will get painted, don't worry. But that's going to be a tricky one because that's got to be perfect. So anyway, but for today we're going to be looking at his jacket and shirt. So I have here a reference image from the game, which I can look at to sort of get some references as to what we're going to be doing. So it's going to be a lot of airbrushing, much like the last one was. What I've done is pants and legs. So for those of you who don't know, there they are. Light's not great, so let's switch over to the main bench so where you can have a look at what I've done now. So here is pants and boots, and they were weathered and airbrushed and everything, and they look absolutely fantastic. Trouble is, you put them together like that and you can instantly tell that the top is far too clean and crisp looking, so they need to be weathered up. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's put his pants back. We don't need them for today. So we're going to be working on that. Now, first things first, we've got a few bits and pieces that we need to actually paint by hand, and that is the necktie and buttons and some of the stripes on his shirt, because he's actually got like light blue stripes on his shirt, which I need to put in there. So let's get right. So I'm gonna get myself ready here. I've turned the brightness up on the camera a bit, well, quite a way actually, because the trouble was I thought it was a bit dark to be able to see, so I turn up the brightness on that a little bit. Right, so we need a brush. So seeing as the blue parts, the blue lines are going to be detailed, we're going to use a detail brush for that. I'm also going to need a mixing brush. I'm going to get some paint here. So I'm moving around my bench. I've got this whole area, so it's white and some flat blue. That's what we're going to do. I'm going back over to my wet palette here, and it's still wet. The paint is still, well, it's not perfectly wet, but it's still wet enough. So if you are going to be doing some painting and stuff, wet palettes are absolutely brilliant. I mean, when was the last time I was on here and it's still, paint is still wet? So especially after the heat that we've been having. Speaking of which, it's quite toasty today, so I hope I don't start sweating too much. Alright, so some blue out here. And mix it with a bit of white, because they're light blue stripes, you see. So we're going to have to mix up some light blue. Put the paints up there. So we've got to mix up some light blue in the middle here. bit lighter. There we go, that seems to do the trick. Maybe a bit lighter, just looking at what it's got to go on. There we go. That should do it right there. Okay. So, let's begin. So let's try and get as far in as we can with these. So there are little stripes along here. So we're just gonna. Who was that? Oh, Maeve. Wow, thanks for the subs. Thanks, Maeve. 3 more months. Wow. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. How have you been? I haven't really been speaking for a while. I hope everything has been all right. Oh dear, concentrate, Gary, concentrate. I hope everything's been all right with you. Just hot. Yeah, it's been a bit toasty today. That's for sure. There we go. So there's some stripes there. There we go. Right, so there's another one. Oh, sneaking on the other side of the shirt there. Not the finest of lines. Probably a bad thing to sort of get my eye in on. Immediately have to do detail work. It's probably not the greatest thing to have done today. Never mind. Is that the edge of the shirt there? No, that's a line, isn't it? So we could just. Come on. Tip his. Give me a tip. Give me a nice tip. There we go. There we go. Oh, there's one up in here. Now I can't. Let's see if I can get in there. That'll do. Alright, so now we've got some nice white lines on his shirt. Perfect, that's just what we need. Okay, so that's that done. Now we need a bit of a bigger brush, because otherwise we're going to be there all day. Oh dear, got the windy pops. And let's see, a bit of a bigger brush, not too much of a fine detail brush. I need to get, see, this is why I always love new brushes. That should do it. So you've been model making much, Maeve? Have you been painting your black grey? That'll do. Not yet. All right, okay. Looking for inspiration, are we? It's all good. You'll get to that point. I mean, like, it's taken me a couple of weeks to get back onto the bench, but once you get back to it, you're so glad that you get there. You're like, yes, Finally back. Finally back to where I want to be. Doing what I want to be doing. Right, so now we've got to paint this. This is the next scarf. Now the reason I'm doing it black grey is because there's going to be some highlights and some lowlights on it. And a black grey is a nice base coat for the middle of that. See, it goes all the way around here. But most of this is partially painted by the airbrush when I've done the collar. The collar of the coat. That's alright. I'll just paint inside so that there's no overlap. Excuse me. Got a bit of a coughy. Okay, there we go. That's the tie painted. Right, so now looking at the references on the picture here, I can see that the buttons on his shirt are kind of a brass, and the buttons on his coat are kind of like dark, like black. So we're going to use black grey for the buttons on the shirt here, on the jacket. Yeah, that's the buttons on the jacket done. Okay, I mean, they're going to need to get out that, what did I use last time for the brass on his pants? I think I used a gold leaf, didn't I? Yeah, so we're going to get some gold leaf out. Paint the buttons on his shirt. Alright, so give me a second here. Here we are, gold leaf. Right. Give that a bit of a shaky shake. That's one done. 3 to go. Right, there we go. Not looking too bad. Pretty pleased. Right, so now what we need to do is we need to actually get an actual black. Because we're going to now try and highlight and low light the scarf. I'm not very good at doing these. Well, give it a minute to dry, I suppose. So, I'm not very good at doing these by brush. That's model air, I don't need that. I need just a black. Give me a black. Give me a black. Bitches. What's this? That's black, surely. I wish. Humbrol, why do you not tell me what colour these things are? Oh, it's an airbrush paint. Model colour. Oh, glossy black would do, I suppose. Oh, that is black. Humbrol could do better with naming its product, that's for sure. I mean, it says 85. It's got the colour on it there, but it doesn't actually tell you anywhere on here. Oh, yes, it does. Black satin. Well, that would be obvious if it was. See, this is Vallejo. These are pretty good because it gives you their number on the top, and instantly the colour. It's there, and you can see it. And also it tells you whether it's a model colour or model air. It's right there. Humbrol is a little bit different. There's the colour number. And you have to search all the way around here, just a little bit, just there, to see what colour it is. So, thanks so much, Humbrol, for making things easy peasy Japanesey. We don't want these things to be too easy, do we? Also, I'd like to say that Humbrol paints look like eyedroppers, don't they? They look like medical eyedroppers with the colour in and everything. Don't want to accidentally stick that in your eyeball. Right, so black. Right, now we're going to try and blend it in a little bit better. If we could do that. Apparently not. Okay, right, so I'm going to put a bit of white in the black grey just to give it a bit of highlight. Another brush for mixing. I don't want to use the same brush for different colours. Come on, give me a. There we go, that'll do. You love the stripes? Yeah, it looks good. Look, they look good, doesn't it? They do look good. Thanks, Creamy. Right, so we're going to try and wet this up a bit. I know what we could do. Gonna have to look at how to do highlights a bit better than what I'm doing them at the moment. See, that grey is kind of sort of washed off there a little bit. Yeah, that don't look too bad. Once it dries, it's a bit shiny because it's dried. Because it's wet, sorry, not because it's dry. Right, so that's enough of the hand painting for now. So all the brushes can go in there, and that one's clean. I've just cleaned that. There's my brushes. There's the brushes. Right, they could go there for now. Right, so we're going to put that away. Let's have a look. There we go. Now comes the fun part. The airbrushing. Right, so I need an airbrush black. I need a model air black. Here we go, model air black. Vallejo model air black. It's just what we need. Right, I'm also going to need some cups because I like to thin down it just a little bit more. So let's get some cups, or a bunch of cups, because we're also going to be doing a highlight on it as well at some point. Because there are areas that need highlighting. Thinners. Right, time for to check the airbrush to make sure that's still working. Right, I've got airflow, but what I need to check is if I've got paint flow. Oh, So we're just going to run a bit of water through it just to make sure. I certainly do have flow. Now, I'm just trying to remember what the last thing was that I used the airbrush on. It was the pants, and so therefore I don't think I've switched out. Well, I'm pretty sure I would have done it. I switched out the nozzle size, but we will see. These ones have got ridges in them. I don't like the cups with the ridges in the middle, because as you mix it up, this thing hits them and then it splashes paint everywhere. These are more medicine cups. So I don't really like the ones with ridges in, but it's all I've got available to me at the moment. The rest of them are ready to need to be washed out. Well, they've been washed out. They just need to be properly cleaned with some paint remover. So I'm going to have to do this carefully, because the last thing I want to do is splash paint all over my model. Like that, see? Splashed it. It hit So if you're going to get these, it's doing it again, see? If you get these paint cups, make sure they haven't got ridges in the middle, inside the cup. Those ridges are to stop, when you stack the cups, it's to stop the cups going too far into one another so that they get stuck, so you can easily pull them apart. But some cups have the ridges on the outside. And these are just, or don't have any ridges at all. And I got the wrong ones, which means damn paint splashes everywhere whenever you mix it up, which is bloody annoying. Bloody. I know how much Creamy likes me saying that. Bloody. Right, so now we got some Blackers Painters. Let's give it a go. Right, it's got water in it. We have to get rid of the water first. There we go. Right. Oh, let's wind it down so not as much paint is getting through. Yeah, a bit more. Bit more. There we go. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to spray up shadows, underarms, ridges, that sort of thing. So let's get to it. Let's just pick an area and just go for it, I guess. Just going to wind it in a bit more. I think we're getting a bit too much paint out. There we go. Well, that's really picking out those ridges now. You can see those, see the shadow of those ridges now, or the ruffles in the fabric, creases. Now, a lot of these seams we'll pick out with, I'll pick out with some wash. Still, right, yeah, running. See how one side has picked it up much better than the other side. It looks, I mean, so this side hasn't been done yet, but this side has. You can see sort of like shadows. It's starting to become more three-dimensional. I mean, there are areas that I'm sort of kind of screwing up a little bit. So a bit of overspray and whatnot, but it's not too bad. Starting to look a little bit worn now, as if someone's actually wearing it. Try and get into the arm area now. Right, so that's looking way better. It's looking like it's actually, you know, crumpled and it's got depth to it. I mean, it's not perfect, but you know, I'm still learning how to do this. And I'm hoping that it's picking it up on camera. More out. Okay. Now, looking inside, we've got a fair bit of work to do in here. Just a shadow in there. Open it up a bit more, I think. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm pretty pleased with that. I like that. Hopefully the brightness of the camera hasn't washed it out too much, but It's got let's try and there's some shadows, some creases in it. Yeah, it's got a bit of depth to it now. Nice. There's a bit of areas like here it's too dark, and around here I've oversprayed and whatnot, but you know, overall it's not too bad. Now it looks as though there's kind of like some highlights. I mean, I probably should have done the highlights first if I'm going to be fair. But we could wind it right down and just tickle the ridges a little bit with some highlights. Right, so that's the black, I think, done. I'm going to sit back and sort of admire that a little bit. Yeah. So now I need to sort of make some highlights. Let's light another cigarette up. We'll have another one of these. Oh my, it's starting to get hot in this room. Whew, toasty. Starting to sweat a bit. It's, 29 degrees today. So, which is ironic. We've had cool weather for the last few days, or fairly cool, and I decided to do it today. So, go figure. Right. So let's find. It was golden brown, wasn't it? Model Air golden brown. But I think I'm going to use the yellow ochre as a highlight color. Just lightly. See how that goes. Because we used flat earth for the leather, didn't we? And then we used golden brown for the jacket, I believe it was. I really need to write these things down. So I'm going to try a bit of yellow ochre. And see how that turns out. But first of all, I got to clean out the black from the airbrush. We'll run that through. Water, here we go. Spin that right out. So we get nice flow. And just hold down the spray pad. Just let it go, spray trigger. Now this is going to be light. It's again, most of this is not shadows per se. It's more texture of the actual jacket itself. Sure, a lot of them can be considered like textures where the fabric is overlaying each other, like ruffles and stuff, creases and stuff. But later on, once he's all been put together and he's all been glued together, then I will do the shadow of the sunlight on him. Get the shadows of the sunlight, because then I can work out the direction of the sunlight all in one go. So it's more dirt and ruffles, but it looks more lived in now. Right, so now we've got to mix up some yellow ochre. Just thin it out. So now we just check the color. That is a highlight. That's good. But again, obviously, it's not going to be as bright as that on him because I'm going to wind it right down. It just needs to pick out some of the highlight areas, changes in color in the jacket. So try not to hit those nobules in the cup. There we go, I hit one. It's also got one on the bottom there that's really annoying. Yeah, I have to get me some new cups. Right, so that's thin enough to be blown through an airbrush. I didn't make much of that. That's all right. Go, just blow some of the water out of it and wind it right in. So when I say wind it in, I'm using this bit on the end of the brush to wind it in. Now what that does is there's a lever, a spring lever in here, like the pin, the needle goes all the way through here. As you press this down and pull it back, you press it down and air comes out, but you pull it back and the paint comes out, depending on how far the needle comes back. So what that does, you push it in, and as you pull it back, the needle comes back and allows the paint to drip out from there and into the nozzle. So if you wind this down, it stops the needle from moving too far back, which means only a certain amount of paint can get through. So that is very fine. You wind it up a bit more, and you got a nice bit of, so only a small amount of paint can get through, so you can decide how much color you want onto the areas. So we can now, it's quite watery, so we just have to be careful with that. So now we can sort of begin to highlight sort of areas around it. I mean, probably not even going to show up on the camera because the color is there, but it's a bit different to the actual, it's a bit different. I don't know if, can you see that? Slight color change in the arm. So this bit here on this side is different to the other side. It's, I mean, it's not a huge amount, but it's definitely there. And it's, like I say, it's not a highlight of light so much, it's just a change of color in the material of the jacket. I'm going to put a bit down the arm as well. The edges here. Might need to wind it in just a smidge because it's too watery to really. We're going to go around the shoulders here. I mean, it's not. It's subtle, but it doesn't need to be anything more than that, because we will get into weathering in a bit. So all I'm really doing is just trying to change the properties of the material that it's been used. Like, because nothing is ever a flat color, especially not back then. It's very difficult. We're just trying to add a little bit of variety to the color, but not too much. See, now I can see that. I can see the difference between the shoulder and the back there. I don't know if these are things that will only pick up. I'm not sure if it's picking up very well in camera. That's the thing. Right, that should do it. Just leave that to dry for a bit. Yeah, I can definitely see a difference in color there. Pretty pleased with that. Alright, so next up we've got to do a wash. So I think the airbrushing is done for now. There's not much more airbrushing that I want to do. There's one of the pants. Well, the pants, that was the problem. It was many different colors. So the only real color on this is the well, the only color really is the jacket. So it's either brown or black, you know, or as we said here, yellow. So I've only used two colors really. So we could turn the airbrush off now, I think, and just let that dry off. So yeah, I'll just continue to have a bit more of a cigarette here. So next up, I'm going to have to give it a wash. Well, I don't mean run it under the tap. Dark grey, black. So I've got a number of different washes here. Got an oxidizing wash. So I've got, these are washes. That's not all the washes I've got. Yeah. Now, if I'm looking at his shirt, inside the shirt, so I'm pointing, in here is all dirty and like brown and dirt. What we've been, you know, he's a working boy. He does a lot of work. He's also blue collar. So what I've got to do is once I've washed the brought the gold down to make it look more like brass, dirty brass, I'm going to use this oxidizing wash and just try and like leave some dirt marks on the shirt, and then we'll go over it with some pigments. So we'll check to see what that like. Seams of the jacket I'm going to do in a black wash to get into the depths. So I need to pick a brush. Brush can not be too thick. Oh, that one's come apart. That one's no good. What's this one like? That should do the trick. Yeah, so it's kind of like an ink, but not. So let's get out. Take the grey away. That way, just use the black. Right. So it may go on quite thick, and it look like I'm just painting over some areas with black. But what it would do is it seeps into recesses and changes the colours. So we can give it a, and then it sort of evaporates. So as it dries back. So we can give the insides a bit of a wash here like this. And in the shadowy areas. Some of these contours here. And then we get the get a fresh cotton bud. Wipe some of the excess off around the buttons. Wash it in. Okay. Now we can use it on the seams. And the buttonholes. You've got to have enough of it to sort of like sink into the recesses. See, now it's dried, it hasn't picked up, it dries back. It's not as dark as it is when I put it down. But it picks out all the recesses. I like a good wash. And it kind of makes it look like the jacket is stained as well. Make it look like it's been stained, which is what we're going to do with the other wash. So now if you compare this side to that side, you can see that it's picked out all the depths of the seams on around the edges there. See, it's kind of like an ink sort of flows through. See, now I put it a bit too much in there, hence the overflow. But now it's all flown all the way through here. So it's filled up that entire arm seam. And it'll dry in there and it'll dry dark. It's very watery. See if we can get it in here. Yep. Right, so I need to... That was a very awkward place to get it in there, but it's got in there. Just picking out those seams there, it looks really good. Just go around the bottom here. See, again, it's just flown into the recesses. Okay, more seam on the arm here. Okay, that'll dry back a little bit less black as it is. So give it some time and it won't be quite as obvious. I've just remembered a few days ago, it was a couple of weeks ago now. That's right, it was a couple of weeks ago. Uh, I was actually updating my blog. I was in a process of updating my blog, and because I haven't updated it for a while, because I haven't really done much on it. So I was updating it a couple of weeks ago, a latest post, and I had a visitor. So I saved the draft. Thought I'd come back to that, and you know what? I've completely forgot about it. So I assumed I'd already updated my blog, but apparently I haven't. I've just remembered. So I will have to go in today and update it not only for the rest of the bits I've done on the horse, but also for any work that I've done on Arthur Morgan since then. Oh, it's so easy to get distracted. You know, people come round and they like, oh, hey, let's go out. And you're like, okay, I was doing something, but sure, let's do that instead. And then I forget, you know. So I'll have to go back later on after this stream and finish what I tried to start. In mind, because I keep forgetting that you guys sometimes read my blog too. I forget about that. Just gonna wash the inside of this. Now you can put wash on quite vigorously if you want, you know, and it will go into all sort of recesses, you know, but it will tone down the colour overall when it dries if it hasn't flown if it hasn't gone anywhere. So we're gonna just so you have to be careful as to what you're washing, because if you don't want it there, you have to wash it back off with a cotton bud or whatever. I put some wash in the dark of the necktie. Okay. Oh, and the buttons. Just give the shirt buttons another go. As you can see, it has dried back on the buttons and they're not as dirty as I want them to be. So we'll just, oh, there we go. Got a bit of some seepage. Don't like seepage. There we go. Oh, it's doing it again. I thought I didn't put as much on that time. That's all right. Now for these buttons to Now, I'm going to put some wash underneath the buttons here a little bit. Just sort of try and emulate dirt under the buttons. And just sort of that way, like so. There we go. Right, now that's picked out a lot of detail. So just try and... Yeah. I need to do underneath this collar here. Just run some under there. Okay. Let's get it a bit closer to the camera so you can see what's going on here. That is looking good. I like that. I like that a lot. See, now that the wash has dried back, you can see it in the seams, and you've got a bit of dirt and whatever on the shoulder. It's great for weathering, picking out details and weathering, stuff like that. Now I'm sure Maeve uses a lot of wash in her model making for her painting of Warhammers, because Warhammers you could do a lot with wash on a Warhammer model. You can use it to make highlights and lowlights, merge them in, all sorts of stuff. It's good for weathering. It's good for picking out details. It's good for highlights. It's good stuff. Right, so next up I need right, so actually let's tip the wash back in. That's that done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use some of this wash, and I want to try it on the shirt to start with, but I'm also going to try and put it a bit more on the jacket in sort of places that would get dirty, like around the base, kind of the edges, and then see how that pans out for us. Now it's an oxide, so it looks like rust, but it could just as easily be dirt. So let's see what we can do here. Now this shirt is going to get dirty. And so I'm just going to give it a wash here. Up in here. Because then it's going to get some weathering on it. There we go. That'll dry off. So we're going to do some like wash around here. Get another one of these out. That's good. There we go. Sort of blend it in. More around the base, I think. And like I said, it will dry. It won't dry as vivid It will change the tone just slightly. So blend it in a bit. So pocket areas. And as it dries off, it just sort of dries back. It's not a huge... Huh. Let's do some more for these ridges down here. Oh, I really like that. Oh, I really like that. Super pleased with that. Right, so that's the wash is done. Now I've got to leave it to dry for a bit because next up we're going to be doing some... right, let's put all these away. So I don't need the paints or washes anymore, so let's make sure they're all tightened up. Right, next up we're going to get some inks and pigments. So I want pigments. Black, umber. Wait, need... So here are some pigments. Here are my pigments. What else we got here? What's this? Oh, I found another wash. That shouldn't be in there. Oh, it's light rust, which is the same as... Oh, no. I had rust and light rust. All right. Okay. Stone grey for black. That's not a pigment. Oh, no, that's a wash. It goes in there. So I've only got 3 pigments. You can get a bunch of different ones, but it's all good. I'm not going to need them. So the first one is... I'll show you what they are. Let's move this out the way. They are essentially powder. And you just kind of work them in to the model, the areas in the model that you want to weather. It's good weathering stuff. Now I'm not even sure I'm getting the process round the right way of pigments and washes and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, but I'm just doing what seems to work right now for me. And it seems to be working. So we're going to let that dry a bit because the last thing we want is the pigments to get clumpy. It's supposed to be a dust. Well, we are banging through this. I'm really pleased with how quickly this is coming together. Just looking at what we got to do next. The leather parts will be next, and the hat and the stirrups. We can put all that lot together. Obviously, the tough one is going to be the face, because I've got to try and get that looking right, and if that doesn't look right, it'll fall into the uncanny valley. The colouring will be wrong, and it just won't look like a face. So I've really got to get that right. I do have a flesh wash, which might work. I might have to look at some videos to see how to paint flesh, how to get that looking good. But that'll be... Now, I've been going through focal points. Now, the horse is like low tier focal point. Yeah, you're going to notice the horse. He sat on it. It's part of the model. You're going to notice it. But you're going to be looking more at Arthur himself. So is more of a focal point in the model than the horse is. And then even further than that, the face is going to be an even more high priority focal point. And so that has to be dead right. If it's not dead right, it'll just look weird. The rest of it could be bang on. The jacket, the shoes, everything, the boot, the gun, the horse, everything could be bang on. But if the face isn't right, it will just ruin the rest of the model. So I'm really nervous about that. But this jacket, I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Right, let's try. He's a horseman, not a man horse. Yes, indeed. Well, you know what I mean. I mean, he's not just some man on top of a horse. He is, exactly as you say, he is the horseman, not a man horse. It's the man you're looking at. The man's the focus point. He's the recognizable character. And if he's not recognizable, then what's the point? All right, so I just took the lid off of this pigment and just dip in and just wrap it off. Now we're going to just dirty up his shirt here. Yeah, here we go. Just put some pigments on his shirt. There we go. Actually, that looks pretty good. It does look dirty. And now we can take some of that and roll with it on the jacket. I'm going to get pigments all over the place, I can tell. Yeah, maybe. Okay, we're just putting in some of the areas that would be sort of dirty or get dirty. Like, especially under there. Now we're going to go around the back here. Now, I don't know if any of you guys watch Tested, but my dear friend Adam Savage, well, he's my friend. He doesn't know of me. But he used to work for Industrial Light and Magic before he went on to Mythbusters. and he made loads of models for the new Star Wars movies and loads of other movies that Industrial Light and Magic done, like The Matrix and things like that. And if ever you watch any of his one-day builds or anything like that, he'll make all sorts of things. He's an avid collector of props, movie props, and especially like spacesuits. He loves spacesuits. But even more than that, I would say he loves boxes. And what I mean by that is he loves to build boxes to put things in. And he likes to make sure that they're like theme, they sort of relate to the item that he's boxing. And he made, I can't remember what he's putting. Oh yeah, it's like an old like microscope and bits and pieces like that. And for NASA, he got hold of an old NASA micro equipment, and he wanted to put it in a box. I believe that's what it was. He made this beautiful like white NASA box, and then he said that it looked too crisp, too clean, like it just rolled off the factory. And so he weathered it up, like put stickers on, and then he ruined them, and he bashed it with bits of metal and bits of wood to make it look as though it had gone through the walls, like it'd been carried around and smashed against bits and pieces to like chip paint and stuff like that. And something that he had said to me, he said to, not to me, but to the video, he was like, he just loves weathering. And he says you could just go so far into weathering. It's like there isn't really a sort of limit you can go to. It just depends how far you want to go. And with doing this, I tend to agree with him. Like, how dirty do I want this to look? How weathered? You know, and that's to be honest, it's looking very good right now. I'm really liking this. I'm going to put some black on there just for the deeper parts. So, if you're into model making or any kind of making like that, definitely watch like Adam Savage's one day builds on Tested or something like that. It gives you so many ideas, like, or tips of how to like weather, make things look, you know. It's like how far you can go, what you can do. And we're just going to blacken some of this up as well, just on the edge here. He is pretty awesome, I have to say. Crap. But that's alright, I can just sort of add all that body in there like that. And another one he done, it was absolutely beautiful. He done a model of a garage kit. And what these are, basically, they're called garage kits because they started off by people like making them in their garage, like, and then selling them off. But it was of this kind of sci-fi cosmonaut based on a book, not a comic book, but what do they call them? Illustrated novels, but not illustrated novels, but anyway, it was this really good cosmonaut. He built that up, painted it out, and then just spent ages just weathering it up. It looked absolutely fantastic. I was like, oh my god. Just depends how far you want to go, you know? How weathered do you want something to look? We're starting to get to the point here of I am getting done. Just weathering up some of these areas under the arms. Lots of this stuff. And there we go. I think that is done. I think I'm done there. It's nicely weathered up. Let's bring it up a bit closer to the camera so that we... Can you see that fine? See the colours on there. Oh, I'm liking that. It looks as though it's been through the wars. It's been with him a few years. So, obviously, the big question is, how does it look when we put the pants on him? Is one more weathered than the other? Does it look out of place? Oh, no. Look at that. Oh, that looks brilliant. Oh, I'm very pleased with that. Look at that white on the boots. Oh, I really like that. Oh, yeah. Arthur Morgan, you are coming together right now. Like I said, this is my first, like, minifig or model, 3D model that I've done that's not like a Warhammer, and I haven't done a Warhammer for years as it is. But this is the first ever, like, model that I've done that hasn't got like instructions of how to paint him. You just have a picture on the internet that you can just follow, you know, and it's just go for your life, just do what you want. And first time that I've used like pigments. I've used washes on my cars before to pick out lowlights and details like that, but not like this, not to this degree of weathering. Weathering is a pretty new thing for me, really. Used to do a bit on the model aeroplanes, like where oil used to leak out of places and stuff, but not to this extent. It's the first time I've used pigments. First time I've used airbrush to detail work. Oh, that's really good. I like that. I am really liking that. Right, so let's put Arthur away. Just leave him there for now. I'll have to take some pictures of him so that y'all can see what I've been doing. Next up, we've got the gloves and guns and stirrups and hat to do. But I think I'll probably leave that for another video. It's 7 o'clock, and I've been going for 1 hour of 47 minutes, nearly 2 hours. That's not too bad. So I'm going to pack all this away, set up my little photo studio here, take some pictures of him, and update my blog. So that should be updated. Check out the if you're a member of Discord, you will be able to. I'll put an update on Discord in my art channel. So check that out. I'll put it on Facebook too when it's done. But anyway, let's so you can have a look at my ugly mug. There you go. Hi. Oh, I'm very pleased with what I've done today. I am. Oh. And to think, I wasn't even going to get on my model bench today. I wasn't even going to get on it. But here I am. So yeah. Thanks everybody for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm going to get back and update the blog. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be updated. And then I think probably about 9 o'clock. I'm not entirely sure if I'm hungry. I'm not sure. I might have something to eat. I don't know. But I am going to get back into Horizon Zero Dawn. So we're going to do a bit more of that. But I needed to get a model bench out, and I feel so much better for getting a model bench out. I am so pleased with what I've done. Here he is. Here is my Arthur Morgan. so far, I mean, it's a bit dark at the moment because the lights are in a different direction, but now you can start to see some of the, let's pick out some of the shadows and bits and pieces. But that's so great. Look out for pictures on my blog. And hopefully I'll see you later tonight when I stream some more Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm going to go and kill some more robot monsters. But until then, thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks always for your support, and thanks for the three subs, Maeve. Oh, I love you. I do. You've all cheered me up today. You've all cheered me up. I've had a good day. It can only go downhill from here. Anyway, take it easy, and I'll see you later. Bye.